This is the Synthetic Signal Report for Monday, March 23rd, 2026 in the morning. Today's report covers a paralyzing cyberattack on the Smart Start vehicle breathalyzer network, a critical recurring security failure in the Langflow AI orchestration platform, and Elon Musk's $20 billion TeraFab chip manufacturing project. We also examine the CSA emergency order regarding the DarkSword iOS exploit kit, the release of the Var-JEPA variational architecture, and Pfizer's latest clinical results for its Lyme disease vaccine. Finally, we look at the Nightcord dual-layer blockchain for private markets and the escalating infrastructure threats between Tehran and Washington. A significant cyberattack has targeted Smart Start, a leading provider of ignition interlock devices, leaving thousands of drivers stranded across the United States. The attack has disabled the back-end servers responsible for authenticating the breathalyzer tests required to start vehicles. Because these systems are designed to prevent engine ignition without a verified clean sample, the server outage has effectively bricked cars for users enrolled in court-mandated monitoring programs. The disruption highlights a critical single point of failure in connected automotive safety hardware. Reports indicate that local service centers are unable to perform manual overrides, as the override codes are also generated by the compromised central network. This incident follows a series of smaller disruptions in the vehicle telematics sector, but the scale of the Smart Start outage represents a major physical consequence of a digital breach. For the second time in recent development cycles, the Langflow orchestration platform has been found to contain a critical security flaw involving unsandboxed code execution. The vulnerability exists in Langflow's public flow endpoint, which passes user-supplied Python strings directly to the internal execution function. Security researchers were able to exploit this flaw within 20 hours of the endpoint being made public. The root cause is a failure to implement a secure sandbox for the Python execution environment. This allows an attacker to run arbitrary code on the host server with the same privileges as the Langflow application. This is particularly concerning because Langflow is frequently used to manage sensitive AI API keys and database connections. Despite previous patches for similar issues, the recurrence of this specific exec call suggests a structural lack of input validation in how the platform handles modular AI flows. Elon Musk has unveiled a $20 billion project titled TeraFab, designed to vertically integrate the entire chip production lifecycle under one roof. Located in Texas, the TeraFab facility aims to manufacture logic chips, high-bandwidth memory, and advanced processor packaging in a single continuous environment. The stated goal of the project is to produce a terawatt of annual compute capacity to meet the demands of frontier-scale AI models. By bypassing the traditional multi-vendor supply chain, TeraFab intends to reduce the latency and cost associated with shipping components between different fabrication and assembly sites. Industry analysts note that this project is a direct challenge to the dominance of TSMC and Samsung, focusing specifically on the high-density interconnect required for next-generation AI accelerators. The Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, or CSA, has ordered federal agencies to patch 3 critical vulnerabilities in the iOS operating system. These flaws are being actively exploited by a toolset known as the DarkSword exploit kit. DarkSword has been identified in a series of targeted attacks aimed at cryptocurrency theft and high-level cyber espionage. The exploit kit utilizes a sophisticated chain to gain unauthorized access to device memory, allowing for the exfiltration of private keys and encrypted messages. CSA has set a strict deadline for federal departments to update all mobile assets, as the exploits allow for persistent access even after a device reboot. This development marks an escalation in the use of specialized mobile malware against both financial and government targets. A new research paper has introduced Var-JEPA, a variational formulation of the joint embedding predictive architecture. This is a signal from the future of self-supervised learning, as it bridges the gap between predictive and generative models. Unlike traditional models that focus on reconstructing pixels, Var-JEPA predicts representations in a latent space, which allows it to ignore irrelevant background noise and focus on the core structure of the data. The variational approach adds a probabilistic layer, enabling the model to handle uncertainty in its predictions more effectively. This makes it a powerful tool for autonomous agents that must navigate complex, unpredictable environments. By moving away from simple reconstruction, Var-JEPA provides a more efficient path for AI systems to learn world models similar to how humans perceive the physical world. Pfizer and Valneva have released efficacy data for their Lyme disease vaccine, known as VLA15. While the vaccine showed a strong immune response and significant efficacy in preventing the disease, it missed a key statistical hurdle required for immediate broad approval. Lyme disease affects nearly 500,000 Americans every year, making a preventative vaccine a high-priority public health goal. The clinical trial data suggests the vaccine is safe, but the specific statistical significance of the results in younger age groups did not meet the predefined primary endpoint. Pfizer has indicated it will continue to analyze the data and coordinate with regulators, but the missed hurdle likely delays the timeline for a commercial rollout until further trials or subgroup analyses are completed. A new blockchain architecture called Nightcord has been proposed to solve the conflict between high-speed trading and user privacy. Nightcord uses a dual-layer design that separates the execution of trades from their final settlement on the Ethereum network. By using a constrained liquidity management system, Nightcord aims to reduce the extractive dynamics often found in decentralized finance, where bots front-run user transactions. The project focuses on latency-constrained markets, ensuring that privacy is preserved without sacrificing the speed required for modern decentralized trading. Tehran has issued a formal warning that it will irreversibly destroy vital water and energy facilities across the Middle East if the United States attacks Iranian power plants. This is a direct response to a recent ultimatum from the Trump administration regarding the Strait of Hormuz. The threat targets desalination plants and power grids that support millions of people in the region. This escalation marks a shift in strategy, moving from conventional military posturing toward the targeted destruction of essential life support infrastructure. Community sentiment is currently focused on the resilience of the Akira ransomware group, which has posted new victims, including Dixon Electrical Systems and Autotransa. Despite recent international law enforcement efforts, the Tycoon 2F8 bypass kit remains fully operational, continuing to target corporate login portals. In the hardware community, the AMD Ryzen 7 9800X3D has reached an all-time low price of $419, while Intel is reportedly preparing a 10% price hike for its desktop processors due to rising memory costs. In the P2P space, the Havino decentralized exchange is seeing increased adoption, now processing $2 million in monthly volume from Monero traders seeking to avoid stricter exchange regulations. Finally, the security community is tracking a massive phishing campaign targeting 29,000 users with fraudulent IRS notices that deploy remote monitoring malware.